Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the World of Wayne. Short video today to end the week with, because on Wednesday we had the 4th stage of the Hachette Partworks release. I built the Batman Tumbler. Now just to give you a view of what we've actually done, that was stage 1, where we did the front section of the vehicle there, looking like that. In the 2nd stage, we're going to be working on this today, which is the massive bulky wheel there. And then in the 3rd stage, we did this cow, which I still think makes me look like Wolverine. But there you go, looking like that. So today we are going to start with suspension. Quite early on these 1.8 builds to actually be doing the suspension. Normally it's a suspension where I hurt myself. So completely unrelated to the franchise, I have got my Star Wars plasters at the ready should something happen. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. And you can get this all the way from part 1. This is still in the newsagents in the UK as well. You can still get up to issue 1 as well. It's what stocks they've got on sale still. But if you do want to get this and you want to be sure of getting this, you can just go to the Hachette Partworks website and get that through them. Now, subscribers at the moment, I believe you are getting your pack 2, which has got stages 3 and 4 in. At the moment, I'm getting mine from the newsagents because it is slightly ahead. As soon as they go weekly, which I believe is in May, you will find that's going to switch over so that the subscribers are actually going to be 2 ahead of the retail customers. Does that make any sense at all? Probably not. Let's just get on with it. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So this is what the magazine looks like. We'll have a slow flick through, show you what's going on. Jumping into the void again, a little bit more about the Chris Nolan Batman series. It's also telling us about the binders that we do get for this. This does come with these little metal things there, so we can actually put this in a binder and keep them all together. A little bit more about Batman in the comics, as you can see there. And then a little bit of a page from the comic there. And then this is what we're doing today. This is basically the front right suspension and the right brake disc. This is historically where things just go wrong for me. But there is quite a bit to do today. As you can see, we're going to be putting all of this together. So at the end of it, it's going to look just like that. In the next stage, looks like we've got the first bulkhead coming in. So let's do this. So show you on the close-up camera, that's everything that we've got in this stage. Now we have lots of screws in this pack. Look, we've got AM screws, we've got SP screws, we've got ABM screws, we've got GM screws, we've got UM screws, and we've got AAM screws, loads of screws. But we're going to need the AM screws to start off with because we're going to be taking this wishbone here. And I've got this little connector block looking like that. That's just going to go into the outside of this section here. Put this in. Fits over the top like that. And that's going to be screwed in with 2 of these AM screws. So one there. Just realised we are going into metal, so to make your life easier, just stick it in a little bit of 3-in-1 oil and you'll find that will go in just like butter. Perfect. Again, very early stage for this to be coming in, but we've got the steering rod now, which looks like that. This is going to be going on this side, so I'll flip this over and it's going to go on there just like that. Now, as you can see, we have got a little cradle for this to rest in, just there. We want to close that off, so we have got a bracket to put on. And this is what the bracket looks like. We have got a locating lug, and there is 2 holes on this section, so when this is on, it's going to fit on just like that. This one's going to be held in again with an AM screw. There we go, that's nice and tight, and now that's the steering locked to this position here. Put that to one side because we're going to be making the brake disc now. Now you've seen us do this lots of times, but basically we've got one side of the brake disc here, the other side, make sure that these sides with the fins are facing towards each other. Line up the locating lugs here. As you can see, we've got, I say lugs, we've got one. Look, one locating lug, and that's going to hold that into place. This time we are going to be putting some SP screws in here to hold that together. So that's 1. And that one's 2. So that is the brake disc completed. looking like that. Put that to one side, and now I need the brake housing, and I also need the wheel pin, which I'm trying to get out of the box, and that's what that looks like. This is just going to be going over the top of this section. So we want this side facing upwards, and it's going to go on with the open section here pointing away. There's the open section pointing away from this section here. So it's going to go in just like that. That one's going to be held in with AM screws. Again, I've put this in oil because there's a lot of metal on this, which is encouraging, because with the weight of this vehicle, 1.8 vehicles can be notoriously very heavy. You do want all metal to support that weight. That's what we've got here. So there we go. That's the housing onto this section just here. It's just a case then of getting the brake disc we created and dropping that inside like that. And then we want to close that off by putting on a caliper. And this is what the caliper's looking like. And this is quite simply just going to be going into the two holes that we can see at the back of this here. So it's going to go in like that. Now obviously we need to hold that in, so those small SP screws, we're going to be using them again. Very tiny. And screw this into position. So that's one. And that one there is two. Perfect. Put that to one side. We're going to bring the wishbone back over now, because we do have a stub axle. That's what they're calling it here, which is going to be going onto this. We do have a hole just here, a little square hole, and that's going to match the square fitting that we've got on the end of this. So this is going to go in just like this. Now this can only go in one way. If you try and put it in the wrong way, it won't work. It has to go in that way, looking like that. That's held in from this side here. Going to get confusing now, with an AAM screw. So we've got A screws and we've got AAM screws. I'm guessing there must be over 26 screws in this build for them to start using other variations of letters. It's going to go in from the opposite side here. Now I'm going to switch up to my PH1 screwdriver for this. That's going to make getting that nice and tight in there much easier. Right, now if I'm holding this way round, I'm going to hold this way round so that this section that's coming off of that is facing towards the gold section that we've got on the end of the steering rod. So this is actually going to go on this way like that. It's going to be held in from the top and the bottom with GM screws. Again, using some oil on here. Not the easiest thing to start off. I'm not going to make that completely tight. I've got the top one in. I'm going to do the bottom one as well. And there we go. That's that one in. And now I can tighten them all up to keep that into place. So that should be able to turn, but not be too loose, as you can see there. So this is the referral transmission. That's just going to go into this point here, so that the point of this is pointing towards all the brake systems that we've been putting on here. It's just going to go in there. It's held in with an ABM screw, and that's going to be from this side here. Not the easiest thing to do, but there you go, that's in. And then the end of this is just going to go onto the vacant point that we've got just at the back of what we've just created there, like that. And that's going to be held in with a UM screw. Now you can see why I've had so many screws in this stage. Just goes in the top there. And then I think I'll use my PH1 holding the back of this to get that in nice and tight. So when the steering wheel is going to turn, as you can see there, it's going to operate this wheel moving. So I can actually probably mirror that here by turning it by hand, and you can see on the top there how that's going to turn. Excellent. So the last thing we want to do is we want to take this pack, which had everything in that I put in the last from stage 2, which is the washer, a little hub, and the screw, because we're going to be putting the wheel on this now. Get all these out. And quite simply, we're just going to be putting this into this section. We do have a little notch just at the top there. So we want to match that notch with the notch in the brake disc. So that's in like that. I'm going to drop down the washer in there. Now, I just got myself a little bit confused there. The screw that we're actually putting in is the AAM screw. That looks just like this. So I have put that in oil. And I'll get that in here. And you want to make sure this is tight. So I've started that off, but I am going to use my PH1 screwdriver to get that as tight as I can get it. Because you don't want no wobble in the wheel. Perfect. That's nice and secure on there. Take the hub, looks like that, and push that into the center. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So this can turn, as you can see. Not that you're going to be using it like a toy, but there you go. Looking good. Obviously, we've started the steering here as well. So very proud of that. Excellent. See, there was actually quite a lot to do in that stage. It's going to be problems filming this, I think, with all the lights here and being on black. It is going to cause lots of shadows, so you probably don't see the detail that we've actually put in there. But very good. I like how the steering works. It's very heavy as well. So hopefully we're going to see Pack 5 in the next couple of weeks, because at the moment they are still fortnightly coming out. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description. You can get this all the way from issue 1. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Have an absolutely brilliant weekend. Take care.